All right, good evening and happy Monday, everybody. Um, we are back with another kayak episode post Lake Lanier, Georgia Bass Nation kayak series. And we've got Kylee Short with us tonight, also known as Barbie Fishing. She's pretty popular. She's on the Native Watercraft Pro staff,
I am.
a few others as well. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me on. My name's Kylee. I'm based in the Central Florida area. I do all types of fishing. I started fishing from the bank, but I fish now from a kayak. I do a couple kayak tournament trails down here. Anything content related to bass fishing, just trying to get as many people in the game, especially women and girls. Just trying to saturate the sport as much as possible, post some teaching, some how-tos. Most of everything that I've learned, I learned kind of on my own. I got into the fishing game very late, so I didn't start fishing until just a couple of years ago and went full speed ahead with it, and here we are.
That's awesome. So, like, your parents didn't fish or anything like that?
So my dad is like, he loves to fish, and he definitely fished some growing up as much as he could when he had time. And he brought me along for some of those. I just wasn't interested in it. I don't know what it was about when I went fishing with him again as an adult. I moved to Florida about 3 years ago, and I went fishing with him when he was just, beating the bank at a pond one day and caught a couple bass. And I was like, oh, something clicked in that moment where I was like, whatever this is, I need more of it. I need to learn everything I can. At that point, I didn't know how to tie a knot. I still wouldn't touch the fish. It was very, very beginning stages. So yes, he brought me along for the ride when I was younger a few times. I was there for the vibes. I wasn't really into the fishing part so much, but.
Right on. And you fish the Florida Bass Nation kayak trail?
Yeah, I've been fishing the Florida Bass Nation trail, focusing mostly on the South region, but I've hopped in a couple North events and we'll do a couple more. And then also the Florida Kayak Bass Trail. That's another trail that we've got around here that follows similar lakes in the Central Florida area. So running both of those.
That's awesome. And how are you doing, like, so far?
Pretty good. I mean, some are hits, some are misses. For me, a lot of the bodies of water that we're going to are new to me. And I love and hate that at the same time because, I'm getting to explore more water. I think it's a good challenge to be able to pick apart a brand new body of water. I think you can learn a lot. But sometimes I feel like I wish I knew a little bit more about them so that I knew how to approach it a little bit better. But some of them have been really good. The season started out pretty strong. Harris Chain was our first event. I took a top 10 finish in that one. Hi, Roy. I took a top 10 finish there. And then it's just kind of been like, middle stages sometimes. Some of them are a little bit tougher. Some of them are doing a little bit better. So I'm doing my best to try to get out there and practice when I can. That's always a challenge for me too, just because I'm still working full time. I'm single mom. Like, the time to hit the water and spend that time prior to a tournament is important and not always possible. So it's been good. I'm very excited. I'm learning a ton. I enjoy so much the people that are a part of the both trails too. So it's been really fun to fish with such a good group of people. So I'm enjoying it a lot.
How do you get ready for a tournament? Do you like study maps, watch videos?
Yeah, so I'll study maps. I watch videos. I try to watch, if I can, videos of people fishing on that lake in the same time of year, too, to see kind of what it looks like, get an idea of what the body of water looks like, what baits are good. For the most part in Florida, you have your really like 5 staple baits and you can probably catch fish on any lake with those. So I don't have to feel like I switch it up too much entirely with what I am throwing. But yeah, just trying to find, heavy grass points, different mix of vegetation, anything that I can find about the lake, about its depth and what it's fishing like currently is all valuable to have. Google Earth, looking at different times of the year and figuring out what that body of water looks like.
So chatterbait.
I love to throw chatterbait. That's probably my favorite bait to throw, honestly. chatterbait, baby jackhammer, all those I'm throwing all the time year round.
Yeah.
But for us, I mean, like when we recap the tournaments and we're talking to the people that placed and it's like, what worked for you today? It's you hear the same things. It's a speed worm. It's a big easy. It's a chatterbait. You know, you've got your staple things. You may hear like someone catch them on a crankbait or something that day, but for the most part, it's the same baits that work for us all the time.
We got our first question from Silverpunk. So does the fishing get better this time of year down there, and when do they start spawning?
Yeah, fishing is great this time of year. I feel like we have a kind of weird period when it's like very late summer transitioning into the fall where it slows down a little bit. But for the most part, the fall bite is a great bite. Spawn will start very early next year. So I've even seen like as early as late February and in March, you'll start seeing fish on beds. But so that's right around the corner already. Spring, in my opinion, is like the best time for fishing here, but fall bite is still great. Winter bite is still really good bite. That's the best part is you can kind of hammer them year round here.
Yeah, I was jealous last spring. I guess last spring. It was the first time I like made some friends in Florida. They're down there fishing and they're fishing the spawn, and it's like, well, I still got 2 months left.
I know, it's so early. And I swear last year when I was looking, I was like, there's no way it's this early that I'm seeing fish on beds. And it starts very early.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Southwest Indiana Outdoors says they're hoping for a Florida trip in February, but we'll be with the family and no kayak. So
Hey, I know them. They can let me know if you guys are anywhere near me and you want to hit the kayaks. I've got 2 you can use. You're more than welcome. If you can't bring yours, take them out, hit the water, whatever you want. Who said we weren't bringing? She's like, this is news to me.
That's great. We had them on last week before.
I saw, yeah. I'm following their trail, I think, because both of them were on the USA Kayak Fishing Magazine podcast with Roy. And then a couple weeks later, I was on it. Now they were just on with this one. So whichever one they do next, you'll probably see me on right after.
That's funny. Yeah, they actually saved my tail. I had a guest lined up that kind of backed out at the last. I was talking to Chase because we're in a group chat together, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I got you." And I was like, "Awesome, thank you."
Yeah, they're great. Both of them are really, really great folks.
Then we got Gotham Gang Ken. He just did really well. What'd you get, Kenan? 3rd place? I think he got 3rd place this weekend.
Oh, with the Lanier event.
Yeah, at Lake Lanier.
That's awesome. I saw a few that I recognized. Fisher Folk was another one. I know like Instagram handles sometimes. But I saw like everyone that was in there and went through the results. I know Steve-O had just posted the link to the results. I was looking through them. So you guys had a really great turnout too. What was it? 50?
45.
45? Yeah. Okay.
Lanier always has a good turnout. Everybody wants to come fish Lanier when there's a tournament here. So It doesn't matter what club it is, really. You're going to get a good amount of people, probably at least 15 or 20.
Cool. Do you guys ever do events like on Allatoona?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So ironically, that's where I'm from. So I lived there, gosh, for like 18 years. I was in the Cobb County area. Again, wasn't fishing. I didn't get into it till I came here. But now I'm so curious about everywhere where I was when I lived there because I didn't get to fish. I wasn't fishing up there. So now I want to go back and fish these lakes that, I grew up around.
Lanier is so special. Oh.
Is it?
Yeah. It's an amazing spotted bass fishery.
Yeah. That's cool.
Allatoona's like, it's good, right? They used to call it the Dead Sea because nobody could catch fish out there. And if you did, but then they introduced the blueback herring to it. The size of the spots has just been getting bigger and bigger every year.
That's cool.
There's always people like every winter that will catch 10-pound largemouth out of there, 12-pound largemouth. It's always in the wintertime, about the same time of year. And it's pretty cool. Bass Nation has a tournament there. I think it's in March. So they draw it way, way down in the wintertime. So it'll probably still be drawn down for the most part.
Yeah, I want to get on that water sometime soon when I'm up there. Again, I had mentioned to you earlier, the deep water. There's no better way to learn than to get in some deep water. We don't really have that very much here, so you put me in 50 foot of water, I'm
shallow.
clueless.
15 to 20 feet, still pretty shallow here.
Oh yeah, no.
And then we got said Harris chain. I've seen them on bed first and second week of February.
I believe it. Yeah, I totally do.
And then Silver Punk says he sucks on tuna. I've never caught anything really big out of there. But I'm sure somebody will be hammering them come March. I think it's March 7th or something like that.
Okay, cool.
Looking at it today because I'm gonna fish that one, and then I'll fish probably Hartwell, and maybe go do Oconee. I know they've got.
Don't you guys have one on Seminole?
Yeah, that one's.
And that's the same time that we have ours on Seminole.
Yeah, it's like doing a joint one.
Yeah, together. That's one of the North events that I'll be doing, so I'll be there that week.
Okay, that's cool. You're gonna fish both tournaments or just yours?
I didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah, you can double dip.
We'll see how practice goes. I may hop in the other one late.
I fish private golf course ponds in Florida once a year and usually catch more trophy bass in a single day than all year in Georgia. Florida seems to have way better bass fishing. Well, it's Florida.
Florida, there is an abundance of fishing opportunities here. So I think too, because there's so much fresh water, so you don't have to be on a lake. There's ponds within where I live, a mile radius. I've probably got 12 ponds I can choose from to go fish that I can catch. There's one in my backyard. So it really is, there's fish everywhere. I would love to hop on some golf course ponds. You might have to let me know where those private golf course ponds are. That's where they're loaded, I hear, if you can get access to them.
That's cool. We have a lot of small reservoirs and ponds and stuff like that, but so many of them are just private. And you can't get access to them. And then got him gang Ken wants to know, what's your go-to finesse bait down there?
I hate to sound like copy paste generic for Florida, but like a Zoom Ultra Vibe Speedworm is like go-to. If I had to bring something that was just like a standard finesse worm or stick bait style, I'm bringing that. Regular 5-inch Cinco. And then I like to throw the, Z-Man has the SMH worms. It's kind of like a longer shaky head trick worm. I'll Nico rig those. And usually can get a good bite off of those too.
Okay, Nico rig up there or down there in the grass?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you do a weedless hook?
Sometimes, but don't let me miss one on it, then I'm gonna switch it, because sometimes I feel like the weed guard will get in the way and I start to psych myself out. But yeah, it's worth it to try and throw it around or right on the grass edges. If you're not throwing right into the thick of it, you can usually pull them out of there too.
We got another grass fisherman in the comments here, fishing with plats. How much stock do you put into what you find in practice, and does it determine where you start on tournament day?
So if I practice, it kind of depends. This was a hard lesson that I learned, not this most recent event, but in one that I did on the Florida Kayak Bass Trail when we were fishing the Kissimmee chain. I put a lot of time, I tried to put as much time as I could into fishing one lake that's on the Kissimmee chain. I went there, I fished, I was able to catch a limit both days within like 4 hours. And then one day I caught a 21, and I was like, you know what? I know this lake is known for good fish. There's big ones in here. It's hard to fish because it was so topped out, it's so shallow. So it was like you're paddling. There's no pedal drive, no motor. And I really debated going there because I caught one big one in practice. And I knew it would be a risk that would either pay off very well, where I would catch some more big ones, I could focus on quality bites, or I could go somewhere where I would likely catch more fish and have different options of where to fish. I chose wrong. And I went to the lake that I practiced on, that I caught the fish on. And I went about 5 hours in that tournament without catching a single thing. There was like not a bite. Actually, I caught a pickerel, that was it. So I up and left, I drove an hour and a half in the middle of the tournament to go to the other lake that I wanted to go to. I had about 45 minutes to fish on there. and I caught 3 within that time. So I had really wished that I had spent my time there. So all of that goes to say, when practicing now for me, I think the deciding factor would be if there was a pattern. Was I able to find a pattern in the way that I was catching fish, or was it spotty and random? If it was spotty and random and just kind of a one-off one, regardless of its size, I don't think I'm going to take that risk in putting all my time in there, since I can't really mimic the same thing to guarantee getting this bites the same way. So I think if I can find a pattern in practice wherever I'm going, that's likely where I'm going to fish on the actual tournament if we have different options of lakes.
Do you keep a log?
What, like, other than like writing down in my notes what I caught in my inches? Yeah, that's what I do. That's all I do, is I just write down the fish I catch, the time, what I caught it on, and how long they were.
Okay, yeah, there you go. That's perfect. Let's see. I truly am slightly scared to fish in Florida because there's a lot that can eat you, but I want to get
A
over.
lot of people have the fear of fishing with gators and stuff. To be fair, because people ask, like, do you really see gators all the time? When you're pond fishing, I probably there's a gator on the pond 80% of the time. It's very regular that you're seeing them. They are not. It's kind of that, like, they're more scared of you. They usually don't come close unless they're interested in your bait. If you're throwing like a real cool top water or something, you may have a gator that's just kind of coming close to it. But they don't. I've never had like a weird run-in with a gator at any point, nor has it really deterred me from fishing there. You just, keep your eyes peeled and move to the other side, and they usually don't bother you. Same thing on a kayak. You'll see them. There's been times I go to paddle in 2 foot of water, and I go to paddle in clear water, and I see a gator right underneath me, and I'm like, oh, let me go to the other side. But it's you really get used to it, and you don't. They're unbothered by you most of the time.
Just another fish in the pond.
Just another fish in the pond. I will say, I don't like snakes. I'm more scared of snakes than gators. And I was fishing from the bank on a pond, and I heard this rattling, and I was like, what is that noise? And I turn, and it's this huge, like, 5.5 foot rattlesnake that just had its thing. I didn't even know we had rattlesnakes here. We do. Definitely. So rattlesnakes, bobcats, I've seen those. That's not my favorite. Gators.
And what kind of Nico weight are you using in the Elastec?
I think last time I just used the tungsten spikes from Z-Man. It was like a 1/16 ounce. I have that little rattlesnaker tool that they have. Sometimes the Elastec can be harder to puncture because of that material that it's made out of. So the rattlesnaker tool just kind of helps you get it in there. But yeah, it was just a little 1/16 tungsten nail weight that I stuck in the end.
Okay, not a mushroom weight?
No, I have done a mushroom weight. The last one, same thing. I think a 1/16 ounce, 6 cents little mushroom Nico weight, whichever one I have. Whichever one I grab first.
Yeah, you don't need anything super heavy fishing in.
No, it's not deep enough to really need anything.
Pop R would be a gator magnet.
Pop R, yeah. Oh, for sure. Anything like that. They love a topwater frog. If you've got a buzz bait.
Buzz bait?
Oh yeah. Buzz baits are fun. Buzz baits are great in the winter time here. That's my favorite bait to throw in the winter.
Yeah.
The buzz bait. You think not so much on top because of the winter, but they're there.
Yeah, they are. It was the water temperature Saturday for me. I think it started out at like 48 degrees. And still seeing fish blow up on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
I do have. I'm gonna fish the Bassmaster Kayak Series on Santee Cooper in May.
I might be doing that one.
I'm a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
A lot of alligators there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think you have to. I wouldn't worry about it.
Do people use forward-facing sonar on kayaks a lot in Florida in general, or is it too shallow to use it?
There are people that use it. I will say it's probably not going to be as popular here, just because, especially now, a lot of our lakes are very low. So you have a couple foot of water, and even then maybe inches of fishable water over like hydrilla patches and stuff. So it's probably not going to do you very well. But some people do use it. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you run any electronics at all?
I just have a little Garmin Striker 7SV. It just kind of gives me some visibility into the depth. I just needed to see water depth. And that's really it. I can see some structural changes under me and things like that, but for the most part, I just was trying to see. It does have side scan too. That helps too. So I just kind of map out drop offs and when I can find ledges and things like that. But no, other than that, I don't have any like live scope or anything on the kayak for now.
Yeah. Then Patricia wants to know, ever use Fish X Live app as a journal?
I have not. No.
I just use my
I'll have to check it out. But yeah, I just have a bunch of really messy notes on my phone.
Same, and I'll go back and I'll like watch a video.
Yeah.
What I was doing. If I can't, that really helps. I call it my video log because I don't post as much as most people do. I don't do like long form content.
Yeah, I mean, if it helps you, then that's still just as much of a reason to be, recording.
Let's see if we got any other questions. Chase said he's got to talk Kylee into joining him.
I think he could. I'll help you convince her.
Oh, he's talking about saltwater fishing.
Ooh, I've actually been getting into saltwater fishing a little bit more, and I'm supposed to, hopefully, if things work out, the first weekish of January, be doing some red fishing from the kayak. So that would be really fun. I've not caught redfish. I've done some saltwater fishing, some different charters, or like just fishing from the beach and stuff, and it's been fun. It's so different, and I think it's fun to know you don't know what species you're going to catch sometimes, like. Especially if you're using live bait, you're throwing shrimp out there. It's like, what's it going to be? Could be a puffer fish, could be, something completely different. So saltwater fishing is definitely fun. It's different. It's very different, but it's fun.
And you're on a Titan X, right?
I'm on a Titan X, yes.
Awesome.
I have the Titan X, and then I also have the LTE.
What were you on before the Titan came out?
The Titan was my very first kayak.
Dang, okay.
I've only been kayak fishing. Gosh, I got that Titan September of last year. It's been a year, a little over a year.
That's awesome. Derek Spicer says, hey.
Hello, Derek.
That's awesome. Only a year in.
It's funny because I got that Titan, and I within the month that I got it, I signed up to fish my first tournament. So I figured if I was going to learn, start now and figure it out along the way. So it's been fun. I enjoy it. When I first got into fishing, I really was interested in the boats. Like I wanted to get a boat. Like that's what you look forward to is, I can't wait to get a bass boat. Now that I fish out of a kayak, it has taken that itch away from me so much I can do everything that I want to from a kayak. And I'm not going to say that I won't ever be in a boat, but I'm very happy with kayak fishing and that I started there.
Same here. It's a lot cheaper too.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't even know where to put a boat. Right. I don't even have a vehicle that can tow a boat. So
yeah. I have a Slayer Max.
Okay.
And before that I was in like a little Walmart sit-in. And I got that, and I let a friend talk me into entering a tournament. He's like, "Oh man, you do good. You should do it." So I entered a tournament and I won. And it was
gosh, your first tournament?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I've just bombed ever since.
Yeah, we had a guy that fished his very first Bass Nation event with us on this last week, and he won first place.
That's awesome.
It was his first event with us. I was like, what? I didn't get that kind of beginner's luck.
Silverpunk says he'd love to go down and catch redfish in the bays, but he's scared of the tide pulling him out. Can an NK300 overcome the tide? Yes, it probably could.
I'm sure it could.
He's got a PWR with a dual
nice.
on it. He's got a bow mount and a stern mount on that thing.
The Florida Kayak Bass Trail, they're allowing 2 motors this season. So you can have both. You can't have them both in the water at the same time, obviously, but why would you? But a lot of people have been enjoying that advantage to having one on both ends.
Yeah, the NKs are so much faster.
They are. Yeah, I have an NK300.
Our local trail allows 2 motors also.
Does it? Yeah, I would expect that. I mean, maybe more will start expanding into that. I mean, it's definitely an advantage, but if that's something that you want to do to kind of be able to have the pros of both of them,
Yeah. When motors first came out, there was like trails that would allow it and then trails that said they never would. And now, like, everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Hobie was the only one that didn't. And I guess they died.
Yeah, the first few tournaments that I did, I didn't have a motor on it yet.
Yeah.
So, and there's still people who fish without a motor all the time. It's not really necessary to be successful. So, but it does help, especially if you're trying to cover a lot of water.
Yeah. And beat people to the fishing spot. Yeah. I wish Georgia Bass would go 2 motors. I say give it time.
I really think over time more of them will start to allow it.
Because they're building more kayaks now that are like specifically built to handle 2. I think before it was like a capacity issue. Because they're really not rated for motors to begin with. We're just kind of putting them on there anyway.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
I've been looking at the XTR too, so they have maybe expanding the arsenal a little bit.
Yeah, those things are monsters.
They are. They're like little boats, but I love the open deck space. Like I like to stand and fish most of the time, so to just have all of that open deck space seems like a dream to me. I did when I was at Dugout over like Thanksgiving break. I got to demo one. It was really comfortable. I liked it.
Yeah, I demoed a Titan X earlier this year when we did a demo day, and it was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna get one of these.
The Titan X is great. It's heavy.
Yeah, it's so heavy.
It's so heavy, but I do like it. It's super stable. I crawl and walk all over that thing. But I really do like the Titan X.
Yeah, it was like you lean over on it and it's pushing back on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like fishing on a dock.
It is, yeah.
And Kayla wants to know, what's the secret sauce for chatterbaits? I just don't see what to do on them.
So I feel like a lot of people say that. I said the same thing. I wasn't catching anything on a chatterbait for a while. I would encourage you to keep throwing it. I had to tell my dad the same thing because he was like, I don't catch anything on chatterbait. Encourage him to keep throwing it. He did, and then he started catching them. Some things that I like to do with the chatterbait, I would try like different trailers. I prefer more of like a shad style trailer. So like the chatter shads or like the Zako, things like that, I think are what I find most successful. Switch up your retrieve speed. So I'm almost never just doing a steady retrieve. So I'll like burn it and pause it, or like throw in a bunch of pops and just kind of have like very erratic action. And usually on that pause, you may get a good bite. You can try like trimming the skirts and doing things. I've been doing that with a lot of them lately, kind of just layering them so you can get a little bit more action out of them too. But just stick with it. You'll figure it out, and then you'll get used to the bite, and then you'll be more successful with it. It took me a while to catch them on a chatterbait. Now I love it.
Yeah, I throw it a little bit here, but I throw spinnerbait more.
Yeah, I feel like that's more popular there too.
It is. We don't have a lot of grass. Like no grass in Lanier, but I will throw it here and there on School and Fish. And then Patricia wants to know if you can stand up on your kayak, and I think anybody could stand up on a Titan X.
Oh yeah, I stand up in it all the time. I'm standing up the majority of the time, and then I sit sometimes too. It depends on what I'm doing, but yeah, absolutely stand on it, walk on it. When I launch from the boat ramp, I'll kind of like wheel it in and keep the top just kind of on the concrete of the boat ramp, and then I just walk along the top to get to my seat and push it back. So it's super stable. My dad, he was a little hesitant about kayak fishing. He's like, he's a tall guy. He was like, I'm not getting on a kayak. And I let him try the Titan, and he was standing up in it and everything. So he'll fish it. He'll fish out of the LTE now too. They're very stable kayaks. You can definitely stand up.
Yeah. I know when I first got the Slayer Max, I pushed it off the dock, and it was probably 10 seconds. I was like, all right, let me stand up.
Yep.
I did. And
you have the 12-foot?
Yeah, 12.5.
Nice.
Yep. I love that thing.
Yeah.
I always said I would never, ever upgrade, but after I got on the Titan, I was like, maybe I will.
What do you think about the new hammer?
I haven't seen one yet.
I saw it. I was there. Steve-O was rigging his when I was at Dugout, and it's pretty cool. Like, it's narrower. It's super like slim and slender. It's got a higher weight capacity. That pedal drive is pretty cool too. And that pedal drive right now is kind of exclusive to the hammer.
Right.
So that retractable feature is really cool. I like it.
Yeah, I think that they said for like the first year or two, it's just going to be with the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Like cross compatible too, so like we could buy it for our boats if we wanted to.
Right. Yeah, I think for me, I didn't opt into going for the hammer just because I felt like it wasn't different enough from the Titan X for me to make that jump. But I think if you were upgrading from something different, the hammer would be like a great move to go to.
Yeah, I see everybody compares the hammer to the Titan, and I think that the hammer is more comparable to the Slayer.
I think you might be right about that.
Because I mean, it's replacing the Slayer Max.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
I try to tell people like, Titan's kind of a different boat. I compare the Titan more to like the XTR
because it's just big. It's wide and big.
It's big. It's stable.
Very spacious.
My Titan. It's not a Titan. It's a Slayer Max.
You got it rigged out then, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think I'll have to see. I don't think I've seen a walkthrough. I would have to go see, looking at your build to see what it is. But you can customize them a lot. That's something that I like so much about them.
Yeah, I turned that thing into Swiss cheese.
So
I've drilled so many holes in that thing. Nope, never flipped over. Have you ever flipped over?
Never flipped over.
No, I think we'd probably fall off before we flip over.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Garmin Force kayak has a spot lock option. You put it on a stern. I've seen the Garmin. Yes, I've heard good things about the Garmin. Originally, when it first came out, I heard people mention that it was a little bit slower, but the actual difference is very little in the speed. So I think it's a good one. It's pricey, but I think if you have like the Garmin system, it's worth it. You can map out where you want it to go. It'll steer you. You know, like if you're trying to get to a spot, you can put it along the bank or along the edge and it'll keep you in position and you're completely hands-free. So if you've got the full system, I think the Garmin
integration too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually curious. I think if I were to get the XTR, if I can swing it, I wouldn't be opposed to getting that new Garmin.
I like the spot lock. I heard that it's like kind of backwards, right? So instead of pointing into the wind, you'll have your back to the wind to keep straight and stuff. But I'm interested to get on one with it. I really like the wireless foot pedals too.
Yeah, me too. I'm curious to how. I would like to talk to someone about like how it handles in grass and stuff though. Like if it cuts through the grass well, or I don't know. I'd have to talk to someone that has one. I know Justin Floyd. He's got his rigged out with all the Garmin stuff. So I'd be curious to know how it's doing with that.
How does the Newport do with the grass?
It's good. It'll wrap up, like the hydrilla gets wrapped around it. What I try to do is just trim it up. So where I have like the tie down, I'll move it to be able to keep it in like an angled position. So it's not sitting as deep in the water. And that helps a lot. So it just kind of is more like jet style on top of the water. And then I can get more use out of it when it's shallow. I really don't even bring the pedal drive with me anymore.
Yeah,
I just do the motor. Because if it's too shallow for me to use the motor, it's too shallow for me to pedal. So it's either paddle or motor.
I like the open space. I like it.
Me too.
Or I do keep it like I've been carrying it and keeping it in the car. So that way, if something happens, I can go back and get it.
I do the same thing. Yep. I keep it with me in the car. And then I don't bring it on the kayak.
That's the good thing about the new drive though, is that it folds down.
It does. So you still have all that deck space. No, that was a really cool feature. I like that a lot about the hammer.
Waiting on the new Canoe Unlimited Max. Those look pretty sweet. They just did the debut on Lake Lanier the other day. They look really nice.
Yeah, New Canoes had some cool stuff.
I got the old Titan 10.5, and I'm 6'2". Standing in it is not an issue. Super stable. Yep.
I believe it.
Yeah. Okay. Here's Fishizo. Fishizo. I was trying to figure out where I saw you before, and it just hit me. The algorithm showed me a drop shot technique idea of yours a few weeks back.
Great job. Cool. Yeah. So I started on YouTube a series it's called like Catching Confidence, and it was just kind of breaking down some basics. I actually have 2 that I need to post, one on knots, and then another one just on trailers and stuff. But just to kind of like break down basics, I did like drop shot, Texas rig, fall fishing, that kind of stuff. Those were the resources I was really looking forward to or trying to find when I was getting into fishing, which they're out there, but sometimes people are more receptive to some people than others. And I figured if I learned it, let me share it and kind of break it down as best as I can. So the drop shot one was actually the first one that I did. So glad that it's made its way to some folks.
So what's your go-to knot?
For me, actually, I'm usually tying a uni knot.
Really?
Which I don't know if that's because a lot of like my dad and my brother, who I learned some of those early basics from, a few years back, mostly saltwater fish. I feel like uni knot is like staple for saltwater fishing. That's what most people there do. It's just kind of stuck with me. It's a strong knot. It works. I'll do a Palomar knot. It's usually between the 2, Palomar knot or a uni knot. For leader connection, I'll do an Alberto knot. That's my go-to.
So you do throw leaders?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Not all the time, but it depends on what I'm doing. But a lot of time, I'll do a fluoro leader.
Okay, I don't hear that a lot from people that fish grass. It's always straight.
It depends. So like if I'm fishing in the really heavy stuff, no, it really kind of has to be just straight braid. But if I'm fishing in more open water, I'll usually put a leader on there, or somewhere where it's like super finessey and not a lot of grass, just for visibility, because some of that water is so clear. And I swear they can see the braid. If I can see it right there in the water, regardless of how green it is, it's visible.
Yeah.
Gives me some peace of mind.
I feel like the fish around here get line shy because they're so pressured. Every single day there's boats on the lake, and every single weekend there's probably 800 boats fishing tournaments and stuff, and the fish they're getting hammered, and they've seen this, they've seen that. I think it's that, and I've seen some stuff that's like shows that fish do have a memory.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but rather be safe than sorry.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Silverpunk says someone has a prototype blade attachment to cut the grass and fishing line on the NKs.
I'd be interested to see that. I usually have to crawl to the back of my kayak to pull it up to rip all the grass off of it.
When you use the NK, do you use your rudder? Because he's got to use his rudder with his XI3.
No.
No, you foot steer, right?
I have the foot steering, so I use the Wizard foot steering, so I can just use my feet to be able to control it. Before I had that, you try to use the rudder, but if you're hitting full speed, especially with the NK300, it's really not helping you move at all, just because there's so much momentum of the water that it's not allowing you to turn the rudder very well.
Yeah, and I feel like when they do turn, they turn really slow.
Mm-hmm.
I use my rudder with my XI3. I do drop it, the spring blade, I'll drop it down. And I think that helps, but if I'm like full speed, I'll use the rudder to steer. And then when I'm like slow moving, I'll use the motor to steer, because it'll turn on a dime, Yeah,
I think too, the position of the motor probably helps with your ability to use the rudder. Like I think if you've got it on the back and the rudder's right there, it might make it a little bit harder, but I don't see why the front wouldn't allow you to use the rudder a little bit better. But no, I don't use it for mine.
Thad Moody Outdoors. What's up, Thad? He's got a Titan X also.
Mm-hmm.
He loves that thing. He dances.
love the Titan. Couldn't crawl to the back of your kayak? No? It was funny because I had posted one of the events that we did, the event on Orange Lake for Bass Nation was on opening day of duck season. And again, I got into fishing late. I've never been hunting before. Like I didn't grow up doing that. And I have nothing against it. I don't have experience with it. I've never been around it. So I get on the water, the sun, like the minute the sun starts to even peek through, and I was just like in shock. I'm like, what is happening? Like I knew what was happening, but I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to this little patch of pads because it's got tall grass in the middle, and I'm going over there, and then I realized, oh no, that's people. That's a duck blind. That's not tall grass. And got to move. So anyway, the video like popped off. I was been getting so much flack from the duck hunters, but I was saying that to say that in the video I was crawling on the back of my kayak to fix the position of my camera, and that was a lot of what people are like, how are you crawling on that thing? And I'm like, you don't understand the stability of these things. They can handle it easily.
Yeah, Thad said he's hunted alligator out of his tight necks.
Ooh, I would like to go alligator hunting. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, he does it. He does it all the time. He's a fisheries biologist, and he's a friend of mine too.
Cool.
And it's always, I think the last time I saw him, he was on a John boat, but he's always going after alligators and stuff. He lives in Mississippi. They've got some big ones up there.
I bet.
And then Chase says he grew up in the woods more than he was on the water.
That's how I feel like a lot of people are. I've never, again, nothing against it. I think it's a lot of people enjoy hunting. I just unfamiliar. So it was an experience for me, to say the least.
Yeah, I was around some hunters on Saturday too. It was.
Now I feel like I'm used to it because I'm. It's been that way ever since that time. Any lake you go onto, you're gonna hear them. It wasn't as frequent as that one. It was just like constant for hours. But yeah, you'll see them, you'll hear them for sure.
I feel like I didn't notice them here last year, and then this year it's like every time I go out,
all the time.
Or I'll hear them talking in the woods.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, duck hunting's huge. It's really big.
It is. It's very popular.
That's what they do when they're not fishing, is they go hunting. They like to hunt. Let's see what else we got here. Nothing.
I saw Michael asked about a bucket list, places to fish, species. I have so many. I feel like too, I'm playing catch up because I haven't been fishing really that long. So like I spotted bass, smallmouth bass, like haven't had the opportunity to catch those. I have done peacock bass fishing. That was one that was on my bucket list. I've gotten to do that a few times. That was really fun. Would love to catch like clown knife fish. Would be another one that's really cool that we have in South Florida. But yeah, Smalley is like big on my list. I would love to fish there. I would love to fish like the Finger Lakes. Really anywhere that I can. And then I really want to go to Brazil to fish for peacock bass. Like,
yeah, like the big
native peacock bass, I think would be an insane trip.
Yeah, that would be epic.
Yeah, they get huge.
Yeah, I was in Thompson Creek. That's exactly where I was. They were out there shooting. Like, crazy. It's like shooting so much, it's like they can't be there anymore. Like,
right.
I was scared them off 30 shots ago.
Yeah, you think.
Said, I want to go practice scoping some spots on Lanier during Christmas break. Where should I put in? Anywhere you want to, man. Nick's Bridge, Thompson Creek, Mary Alice. You can go Bayless also. Van's Tavern. If you want to find them right now, you're going to find them in the ditches. So study your map. Find a spot that's like got a lot of ditches near the boat ramp and go hit it, and you'll figure it out. It's not too bad. And Dustin Connell's got some really good videos too that like kind of breaks down what you're looking at and what this fish looks like on the scope versus this fish, so that you know if you're chasing around crappie, or because that's what a lot of people make the mistake of, is they'll go out there and just cast at everything they see.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them aren't bass. How much warmer is it in Florida? You can't say it'll be in the 70s this week.
Oh, you'd be surprised. So actually this week, like the beginning of this week, we have a little bit of a cold front. So I think today's high was like 65, maybe a low of 50. Tonight, like a low of 48. But tomorrow I'll be back up to 70. But normally for this time of year, mid 70s, 78, 79,
I think
80.
Today was like 17 degrees.
Oh, no. And it's funny because the longer I live here, the more I'm a sissy about it. I'll go visit family in Georgia in the wintertime, and I'm like, I don't know how I tolerated this for so long. And here it's hilarious because people it'll hit under 60, puffer jackets, gloves, beanies, like you name it. It's just like the most dramatic thing, but you really get used to the warm weather.
Yeah, I spent a long time in northern Indiana and southern Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's really cold up there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and I don't want to be there anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do. I don't know that I would know what to do.
No,
Also,
we've
my
talked.
hands would be freezing trying to fish.
I can't fish in the wintertime. I don't want to go there. Like, I
Mhm.
could fish like ice fishing, but that's not what I want to do.
Yeah, no.
The wind chill of 9 there in Mississippi.
Mm.
And then Tony said he saw that video today. Tony, he's cool. He's part of the crew that does the Tuesday and Thursday shows.
Okay, cool.
And where is a lot of dead water on Lanier? As some pros always say, there is some on every lake. I can't answer that question for you. If there's a lot of dead water, maybe in the summertime, but even then, it's so deep. You can pretty much find them everywhere you go. It's just you're not always going to find them eating.
So if you don't, let me ask you a question, because I know you're fishing in a lot deeper water. If you don't have anything to be able to scope them, how do you approach, like 30 foot of water if you're not looking at a graph?
I would still be using like down imaging or even 2D.
So really, it's kind of like required to know where the fish are.
Yeah. So pretty much on Lanier, every point has brush on it. Every single point has brush. Some of them have multiple brush piles on them. So
Okay.
you go out there and kind of scan around and see see where they're at and drop it on them. And sometimes you'll catch striper, sometimes you'll catch spot, sometimes you'll catch catfish. But the striper are fun. Stripers are a lot of fun.
I hear they put up a real good fight.
What do you do if a gator comes up to your kayak?
I don't know. It hasn't really happened. In my mind, my theory would be that I would first try to, this sounds funny, but like my dad does it too, but if you kind of like bark at them, sometimes they'll go away, like try to like make a loud noise. I think I would probably smack it with the paddle if I had to, like on the head if I had to, I think it would go away. They never got that close. Worst comes to worst, keep yourself protected. You got to do what you got to do if you really are coming to a close encounter with a gator. It may turn into a gator hunting day.
Yeah, Tony says you can beat the bank fishing Lanier and still come in with a bag. And he would know because he just took 3rd place at the Toys for Tots tournament and Big Fish.
Wow, congratulations.
22 pounds and some change with a 6-pound largemouth, and that's in Miko.
Nice.
Yeah, the maps were a huge thing for me. When I learned how to read the topo maps, I really was able to find better areas to fish.
Mm-hmm.
Miko, he's cool. And then you got Crankbait Deep from Ken.
Yeah, it was funny. I got like in a package that had just like a bunch of baits. It was back when Major Bass had like the Major Bass Pro boxes. I got some like 24-foot diving crankbait that I just have, and I'm like, I will probably never have the chance to use this. And lo and behold, I went to that event this past weekend, and there were spots that were like 24 foot deep, and I was like, I should throw that crankbait, but I really wouldn't know how to.
Shaky head too.
Shaky head, yeah.
Yeah. And then Ken said it happened this weekend. Fisher Folk got 5th without using his scope.
I believe it.
Seems like if you smack the paddle on the water, it would spook them off.
Yeah, I think some noise and some commotion would have them going.
And Tony says, again, he says, I love live scope, but old school fishing is still a dang good way to change it up. Oh, yeah, that's what I had to do. That's what I had to do Saturday because my live scope died. Like I told you before the show started, it was like 45 minutes in. I just pulled up to like the first spot that I was going to fish. And then I noticed like when I would turn, it would kind of lag and glitch and do whatever. Hopefully the update that I did will fix it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that they were having some issues with the transducers, so they're like swapping them out pretty easy.
I gotcha.
Hopefully not, because you got to send yours in before you can get a new one and all that. But yeah, I mean, I like the live scope. It's definitely easier to because you can see where they're at. You know where to cast to them.
Yeah.
It's definitely easier.
Yeah,
But
I feel like it would be a really good tool to have. I think for me too, and I know I know there's going to be a point where I make that addition and add it onto there. I think for me too, right now, or at least earlier on, I felt very strongly about making sure that I knew how to on my own, like pick apart a body of water. Like it was a matter of me having some confidence in learning how to find fish on these new bodies of water. I think in Florida it's a little bit different too because you're not having to find as many suspended fish in, however many foot of water that you guys are dealing with. But I know that it can be, a very valuable tool sometimes. So.
Jeremiah must have just joined in because he said, "Why bass and not the saltwater fish in Florida? As much as I love to catch peacocks and stuff, it's hard to leave the tarpon, barracuda, and snook alone."
I hear that. I've had people tell me like, Kylee, when you get into red fishing or something, you're gonna put the bass fishing down. And I don't think so. I think for me, bass fishing was how I found my love for fishing. So it's always gonna have a very, very special place for me. I think it kind of feels like home. I'm very curious and interested into fishing other species in saltwater. I think it'd be really fun too. A peacock bass is really fun. I would love to catch a tarpon, snook. I think that would be awesome. But I don't know that it would. I can't say. I don't think it would be enough to drive me away from bass. I like the tournament scene. I like the abundance, and it's very accessible for me. Like especially being in Central Florida, I got to go at least an hour and a half either way to get to saltwater to fish that. Whereas I can hit the backyard to go catch a bass in a second.
And Miko said, "You get to throw a frog year round."
You get to throw a frog year round and do. It's fun.
And Silverpunk wants to know, with all the grass down there, what do you look for to find a bass in it?
It's really, that was something that I've tried to figure out a little bit more, especially with like very heavy grass mats. I've fished some grass mats that look a certain way and had nothing, and then gone to one that looks identical and caught a bunch. And it's like, how do you know where to spend your time? For me, I find the most success not looking for necessarily a specific type of grass, but looking for a mix of it. So like if there's like a huge stretch of lilies, if those lilies are meeting like Kissimmee grass or something else, and at that point where it starts to mix and you see a few different options, I find you can usually find fish in. They've got, options and variety there. So I try to focus less on the spots where there's just a bunch of like a long stretch of just one type of vegetation and see where they start to mix. Usually you can find them in there.
And are you just fishing like on the edges of the grass?
Yeah, edges of the grass. Sometimes you just get like deep up in the thick of it and fish like on top. A lot of people will do like the flipping and punching baits into the heavy stuff too. You can pull them out of there, but I like to fish grass edges.
Have you tried punching from the kayak?
I have, yeah. Yeah. It
How
was
did it?
funny. The first bite I got punching from the kayak was a big bowfin. And I was like, it had me so stoked for a second because I thought it was a big bass, but it was not. But they're in there.
What about snakehead? Do you ever catch snakehead?
So we don't have true snakehead in Orlando. You got to go to South Florida, like where you would go for peacock bass, but they have them down south. Caught one snakehead before. But no, bowfin is what we have here. That's like, I guess, the closest thing to snakehead. They have that similar like long style body build, but yeah, you got to go a couple hours south to get to some snakehead species.
Okay. Jeremiah wants to know how long you've been fishing. Do you like flipping and punching, or do you try to stay away from the really thick grass?
I have been fishing. I started fishing summer of 2022, so I guess 3 full years now. I've been fishing and then kayak fishing for a little over a year, about a year and a half. I will flip and punch if I have to. It's not my favorite. I think it's probably just because it's something that I don't spend as much time doing. I'm sure if I got some good bites off of it, it would have me reaching for it a little bit more. If I'm fishing really thick grass, I'm likely fishing on top. So I'll fish with, like a heavier frog. You can run like a speed worm across the top, fish with like a big easy. Something to create some commotion on the top is usually how I'm fishing in the heavier stuff.
See, do you cruise often? You're close to the port there.
I don't cruise very often at all. I've been on a handful of cruises, but I think in the last 10 years I've been on one. So you are close to the port, but I'm not a big cruiser.
Jeremiah said it makes sense. Orlando has fantastic bass fishing. Anywhere you go, even right next to the Big Mouse house.
Yeah, it's known that Disney ponds have good fishing. You'll get kicked out very quickly, but if you can manage to get around some Disney ponds around there, I hear they're loaded with good bass.
Yeah, they do guide trips on them too.
They
Even
do. They do guide trips on Disney, and I hear they're really good.
we were there in like September, August, and we stayed at the Pop Century Resort, and
Mm-hmm.
there's not any no fishing signs around the lake.
Fair game.
I told my wife, I was like, next time when we go, I'm bringing a fishing pole, and they're just
Yeah.
gonna.
I probably shouldn't encourage this, but a lot of times people don't care. I will say that a lot of the ponds that I fish in have no fishing signs. Usually, unless there's like an ordinance number on there, it's not really enforceable. It's more just like an HOA that's trying to keep people from seeking out their neighborhoods to fish, but follow the rules, I guess. But, you know,
We were walking
ask
around.
for forgiveness, not permission.
Sun's going down, and there's fish blowing up top water. It's like, oh
I
man.
believe it. I believe it.
And then this must be Ken. He said, "Will you be at the Classic next year? And can you tell Alex he needs to go with our North Georgia crew?"
He should go. Tennessee's not far from you. You could definitely do that. Yes, I will be at the Classic. I'll be there all week.
And you do the Bassmaster turf stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How's that?
It's been really good. I think it was a really great initiative that they started to just kind of foster like women and girls in the sport. So usually, like this year, we did a workshop at the Classic. The workshops typically follow the Elite Series. They'll have anywhere from like 5 to 6 workshops throughout the year. But yeah, it just gives people a chance to sign up and learn about fishing, get some hands-on like technique and experience with different styles of pitching and casting, and we cover like so much. We try to in such like a short amount of time to give people an opportunity to get some hands-on learning time regardless of your experience level. I think it's been really good too. I know the girls that are a part of it too are so knowledgeable, so it helps. It's really inspiring too to see people that look up to these like prominent women in the fishing industry. So I think it's a really special program that they have. I'm glad that it's continuing, and there should be another event at the Classic this year for people to sign up for.
And you do stuff to get kids into fishing too, don't you?
Yeah, so in Orange County, we have some kids fish for fun events. So it's like a free fun tournament that they run, kind of in the late summer months. They actually did a few, this late summer, but it's free. They provide all the rods and reels and the baits, and you just show up and you get a t-shirt and a medal, and we count how many fish that the kids catch, and there's a bunch of volunteers there to help them take the fish off the hook if they can't, or help them cast and help them bait the hook. And we actually just did two. This was the first year that we did senior fish for fun events. So it was at a senior center, and every month we had an event to where they could come in the morning for a few hours. Same thing, rod, reels, baits provided. Have some volunteers there to be able to help out, and you have people that were cleaning out their fishing stuff that they haven't touched since the 90s. That was getting them back into fishing. You had people that were 75 years old, and it was their very first time catching a fish. So it's really cool to kind of give them some activity to do and just have some more community do something fun. So I really enjoyed that too. That was a fun one that was added this year.
That's awesome. And then Chris these guys must be a little bit late. Do you fish tournaments? If so, how many rod setups do you take out?
Yes, so I do fish tournaments. I was telling Alex earlier, I fish 2 kayak tournament trails now. I've also fished some of the BFLs like as a co-angler, but my focus this year is more on the kayak stuff. It depends on where I'm fishing. So if I'm fishing, I would say anywhere from like 6 to 7. Like I think this last one, I had 7 rods with me.
Okay. Have you fished any rivers in Florida?
The only river, actually, yeah. So I fished like the Wakaiva River before, and then I've also fished with Lakuchi River once as well. I'm not as, I guess, familiar with like the river style of fishing. I struggle with maintaining position in the rivers with the current going constantly. I'd be curious to know with people who are fishing rivers consistently, like what your anchoring setup is to kind of keep you in position. Because I just was like fighting the current like the entire time, and I see a fish, I'm trying to focus on this one area, and I can't stay in position long enough to do it. But I've fished a couple rivers. We actually have another event this year with the Coochie River, so I'll spend a little bit more time there to get familiar with fishing in those rivers.
So I know a lot of people will use like chains,
Okay.
and they'll take like their anchor wizard or whatever, and instead of having a ball or a mushroom anchor, they'll have like chains hanging off of it, or what's called drift socks. Have you heard of those
Yeah, I
before?
have heard of drift socks.
Yeah, and they'll use drift socks too.
Hmm.
I don't fish. I don't think that my Slayer Max is like a river kayak.
Yeah.
It doesn't turn good enough and stuff like that. So if you were in a teams tournament, who's another kayak angler you'd like to be paired with?
Ooh.
Can't say
So I can't say who?
Christine.
Oh, dang it. That's exactly where I was going. I was like, I'm calling up my girl Christine. If I was in a teams tournament, who's another kayak angler you'd be paired with? That's hard. I'd probably say like Blake Abbey is one that is like he's just fun and cool, and he can fish. Like he's a hammer. I think he can make it work no matter where we're fishing. Chris Mitchell is another one too. Just like hometown hammers that I'm trying to pick their brains all the time. So either one of those I think would be a huge asset in a teams tournament.
There you go. Andrew says he always ran anchor wizards, position based on what stretch I fish, but drag chains work really well too.
I'll have to look into that. Come prepared this time.
Yeah, he said ask John G if you want to know about. I don't know where John. He's our river rat. He's always on the river.
I know Luis, he fishes rivers pretty frequently too. I probably pick his brain some about those.
Yeah, he's local here too.
Mm-hmm.
Withlacoochee runs up here in Georgia too. Fished it last month.
Yeah, Withlacoochee was so clear. It was very shallow when I went to. Like that was one where I could literally see the gators under me. Like it was so shallow, but it's so clear. It was really cool. I like fishing the rivers. It's refreshing somehow. Wakaiba River, same thing. We kind of went on the springs to just kayak and do a little bit of fishing and just for fun, and it was cool to see.
So what made you want to do the social media thing?
Honestly, when I was learning to fish, I really was like looking on YouTube, TikTok, like anything that I could to learn about fishing and trying stuff. I would just go hit the bank on my lunch break and just try and fail often at fishing. But I was just kind of posting like on my story on like my personal Instagram some stuff. And I realized the people that I was watching at the time, I wasn't really seeing many women in the game. Now that I'm in the industry more, I know there's a lot more that are here, and I love to see that. But at that time, when I'm looking for it, I wasn't really able to. So I kind of was like, maybe I should just post something, like post what I'm learning, and found this niche. I started on TikTok. I would go live on my lunch break or at some point fishing, and I would just try stuff and just catch fish on live. And it just kind of became a thing, expanded into different platforms, and got into the tournament scene. I started fishing as a co-angler in like a little Wednesday night tournament that we have here. I felt like I was limiting myself though, because I had to make sure that a boater was available or find someone whose boat I could hop onto in order to be able to fish. And I wanted to do it every time. I also didn't really have so much say so on where we were going, what we were doing. And I felt like there was so much water that I just wanted to learn how to cover. So that's kind of what got me into the kayak stuff. So I could get into kayak and still have some independence in being able to fish tournaments and keep the competitive side of things going. But I got to do it on my own, and that's been really fun. So
that's awesome. And Patricia wants to know if you ever run into Hillary Martin.
I do. Yeah. Hillary's a friend of mine too. Last time I saw her was at ICAST in July. I'm hoping that we'll get a chance to fish together here pretty soon. But yeah, I see her sometimes as well. We keep in touch.
Andrew said that's how he met you, was on TikTok.
Andrew was one of like the first that I knew on TikTok. Like he really was a day one follower, and I got to use some of his baits and everything, and was one of the first, really one of the first companies that I started with like pro staff with was with Tactical Fishing Co. So he's been great from the start. I super appreciate it. I still use his stuff now. It's awesome. Those frogs are stay locked and loaded and ready.
I got a ton of tactical fishing stuff in
I
mine.
love them. Yeah.
And then Ken, he said Alex versus Kylee on Gunnersville. I will lose that.
You think?
I think I've never fished grass before.
Oh, so yeah, that I feel like that might have a little bit of advantage for me because that's not unfamiliar, but it's hit or miss. I fished Gunnersville for the first time. I was there for the Toyota owners event. I wasn't fishing in it, but I was just there for that weekend. So I got to do some fun fishing in like 2 days beforehand. It's like they're like the grass mats are unreal. Like it is really, I was so excited because I know the frog bite on Gunnersville is like known. It is known for that. And ironically, when I was there, like nobody was really getting hit on a frog. I caught one fish on a frog. It was actually the black, what is it? The B, why do I want to say B12? B2, yeah. B12 shots. B2 frog that I caught it on. That was the only frog fish I caught. Everything else we caught on a fluke. But lots of fish in Gunnersville. Lots of fish in Gunnersville. It was a huge lake. Very pretty lake, too.
Tactical Fishing Co. Never heard of them.
Never heard of them. Who's that?
And Michael Bradley wants to know if you ever fished headwaters.
I haven't fished headwaters, but we have an event on headwaters. So that's coming up. Why do I want to say March? I think that's our March one. Headwaters, Fellsmere, all that. So I will be on headwaters. That's close enough to me too that I should be able to get a couple days of practice in for that one.
Yeah, I was just about to ask if you were planning to practice that one.
Mm-hmm. If it's close enough, if it's like within an hour and a half, I usually try to at least, if I can, take a day off work or half day to be able to get a few hours on the water. But sometimes it's just too far, or scheduling doesn't allow for me to get on there beforehand.
That was one of the things I liked about the first trail I fished, was that their tournaments were on Sundays.
So nice. So you could still practice on Saturday.
Right, yeah. But the only thing I didn't like about them was they do an in-person captains meeting before the tournament. So it's at like 6:30 in the morning, and most of the lakes are like half 2 hours away from the house. So it's like waking up really early.
That's what I do now. I usually am up at 3 to leave by like 3:30. And if it's like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive to get to the ramp by 5:30, launch at 6. Like I don't know what it is too about tournament nights. No matter how I say I'm going to go to bed early, I can't. I don't. It's still going to be like midnight that I go to sleep. I'm running off. Maybe that's the key to me winning a tournament. Maybe I just need to get a full night's sleep, but 2.5, 3 hours that I'm running off of sleep going to fish a tournament.
What are you doing all night? Are you going through your gear? Are you watching videos?
Yeah, both. I'm always late to like rigging my stuff. Like I'm retying everything like the night before, making sure the car and everything's packed up. Everything. Like it doesn't matter how early I say I'm going to start. Plus, if you're practicing, you know, a lot of times that's happening that day. So I got to re-rig everything like the day before. I don't really have another choice. So that's usually what the bulk of it is just kind of getting everything set up.
Gunnersville's a bucket list. Want that frog experience.
Yeah.
And Chase said that the B2 is his favorite.
B2's a great one. I really like the pad. Why do I want to say pad crasher? The small one. Pad slasher. Yeah. Yes, that one's my favorite.
Have you thrown the Slizzard at all?
Mm-mm.
With the little blade on the back of it?
Oh, yes, I have, yes. That one also I keep in my box too. If that would definitely be when I reach for if I ever go snakehead fishing again, when I go down south. I feel like that would crush them on Snakehead there.
Impossible to sleep the day before, no matter how many fish
It is. It's like the anticipation
it is
gets
exciting.
Yeah. I might be fishing Santee Cooper. I'm hopeful that I'll know for sure. But the one in May, yeah, the Bassmaster Kayak Series, yeah.
Ghost, I do believe that there is going to be a lunch break tomorrow. Danny was out of town last week. He's in like Salt Lake City or something like that with Digital Sportsman. But he's back, and we don't do the Monday lunch break anymore at all. But Tuesday through Friday, I think he's back this week. So he's actually in town right now. He's just kind of throwing me to the wolves and making me do this by myself.
You're doing great.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. And then he said pad slasher is Kayla's favorite also.
I like it. There have been multiple times where I've thrown like a bigger profile frog, missed it, like multiple. I vividly remember this one, and I threw in the same spot. I had like a bigger like swamp lord on there, and I threw it, got a blow up on it, it missed it. Threw it back, blew up on it again, missed it. I was so frustrated. I cut that frog off. I tied a smaller one on, like the pad slasher. I'm like, no way this frog is going to eat this thing again. Like, it's learned at this point. Threw it, blew up on it again, brought it in. So sometimes I feel like that smaller body really helps with losing less fish.
Yeah. Are you a minimalist when it comes to packing baits, or do you always kitchen sink? I always have more than I need, shoving bags in everywhere.
Always have more than I need. So I usually have, like I see you have the Evolve sleeves in your bag, in the back. So I like the Evolve bait bags too. So I'll usually have like a big one with a bunch of plastics. I've got like a couple Planos in the black pack crate. And then I keep one Evolve bait bag that has what I know are my go-tos. So like I know I'm going to be throwing it, a couple different color variations. And I will still bring all of this. And there will sometimes be times I don't touch any of that. I just touch the one. So in theory, could I bring the one little bag? Maybe. But I have to have options. I feel like you never know. So I just got to be prepared for all of it.
And then have I told you about the MRE? She knows about the MRE.
I know about the MRE, yes.
Longer than I have.
I like the MRE a lot. I remember when the MRE first came out.
Have you ever thrown a Carolina rig lizard?
I haven't thrown a lizard Carolina rig. Fished a lizard a bunch, but not as Carolina rig.
I got to turn this fan off. It's cold. All right, I'm back.
Whose code do we use for TF now, Alex or Kylee? Ooh, that's a good question.
You use anybody.
You can use mine and tell Alex that you used his, you know? I'm just kidding. Either is fine. Just get yourself a discount however you do it and get some stuff.
Yeah, I think he's got some stuff. He's used it before. You've used my code before. Use hers. Use anybody's. Let's see if I missed anything. Let's see. Grass fishing is so much fun. Santee Cooper.
Have you fished Santee Cooper before?
No.
Me neither.
No. I fished Lanier and like most of the North Georgia lakes, Carter's, Blue Ridge. I've been on Chattooga. And I know Chattooga's got some grass in it, I think, but I didn't find it. It was a night tournament too that I fished there, so it was like
from a kayak.
Oh yeah, I fish at night a lot, like a whole lot.
See, that's where the gator play comes in. That I'm probably not going to do that.
I'm like awake all night.
Yeah.
No, I fish nighttime here a lot on Lake Lanier, so we get like dock lights. Like green lights.
Yeah, okay. Like the green lights and stuff that are under the docks.
And the striper fishing, like right now on a dock light, is amazing. That you can just throw like a little underspin out there with a little paddle tail or like a little fluke style bait and hammer it and just
drag it. That sounds like fun. Sight fishing like that is really fun too.
So much fun. He said, I have Yak Attack bags full of Tactical Fishing Company and J-Bros.
Me too. I just got a package from J-Bros today. I haven't even opened it yet, but I have a bunch of skinny sticks in there. It's like one of my favorite little stick baits to throw.
I like Larry. He's a good dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, super nice guy.
Andrew said TFC don't work, don't throw it. It's Seminole.
I haven't fished Seminole, but that'll be my first time on Seminole for our event. So I'll be there all week actually. So I'll get a lot of practice on Seminole, which I'm excited that I'll get practice for that event because that's where our championship's going to be too for Florida Bass Nation. So I'll put in January 21st or 24th, whatever weekend that is.
Has Maggie Joe given you a ride in her Bass Cat yet?
No, she just got the Bass Cat. So when I saw her for the Toyota Owners, that was when I knew that she was getting it. But no, so not yet. But I'm hoping, I would love to go out on that.
That
thing looks awesome.
That's Ken. He's a Bass Cat junkie.
Gosh, I mean, like, someone was talking about Cadillac of kayaks. I mean, that Bass Cat is nice.
Andrew said we would love Santee Cooper. It's such a good fish right now that he's dialing it in. He had to get off of that little pond by the house where he keeps all his pets at. If you wrap your kayak with a gator pattern, will they leave you alone?
Maybe. No, they don't. They leave me alone now. I don't have any issues with them. I say that now. I've said that like 3 times, and watch, like, tomorrow I'm gonna gator attack.
No, you'll be all right.
Yeah, sometimes you'll catch them though. Sometimes they will come after your bait and you'll hook into them, and you just hope that it comes off or cut the line, one of the two, or pops off.
They come after your fish too, don't they?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. That was the only time that the closest set of gators probably come is my son caught like his PB. It was like a 4-pound bass, and as we were pulling up the bank, the gator starts coming up the bank too, and I'm like, no, just let him have the fish. It was chomping at it, but missed it and gave up, and we got to bring it in. So,
when I lived in Texas, we lived right by this reservoir, and it was loaded up with alligators. And we would go out there and like kind of antagonize them to come close, and then run away. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of dangerous. But Andrew said he's caught them. It's fun. Hold them with the grippers. And he said, hey, now leave the pond alone. It's prime content.
I love pond fishing. It's funny because I love to fish out of a kayak, but if I'm being realistic with like my schedule, I got to work. And when I get off work at, 4:35, I maybe have an hour and a half before it gets dark. That's not enough time for me to take the kayak out somewhere. So I'm usually just pond hopping or hitting somewhere, right around here to get a little bit of time fishing in. And I love to fish from a kayak, but I have caught my best fish from the bank. So,
yeah. And you noticed that too, like looking at your social media, you still post a lot of videos just standing in the grass, fishing on the bank.
I love to fish from the bank. I don't know that I'll ever stop. I think it's fun. It's easy to do. And I can't think of a better way to like decompress from a day than to just go fish. Even if I have 30 minutes, I'm going to go.
Yeah. And we had Jeremiah in the comments earlier, and he fishes from the bank 95% of the time. And that dude is a hammer.
Yeah.
Big fish.
Yeah, you can catch good fish from the bank. I think too, realistically, for a lot of people, I've really been trying to focus on showing how accessible fishing is and like encouraging other people to get into the sport, like it's not too late to learn, start now, that kind of thing. And most people are not starting in a kayak or they're not starting in a boat. They were likely going to start from the bank. And I think, it's good to show that you can catch fish in, any capacity, regardless of if you have like a water vessel or not. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, bank fishing is always a special time.
Yeah.
I suck at it, so I've never been good from fishing on the bank. So my uncle had a pond, or has a pond still in Lake Michigan, or that's fed by Lake Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
He gets like massive crappie and bluegill, and there's some bass in there, but no like big ones. You know what I mean? But that's kind of where I cut my teeth fishing. Was every summer we'd go there. He had a pontoon boat and with a trolling motor on it. We'd troll around and catch a bunch of crappie. And then we got kayaks kind of just to go paddle around and like enjoy it, right? And then we bought the only 2 that they had left at the store because it was like middle of COVID. and it was like 3 trips out. I was like, kind of realized that they had fishing rod holders on them.
Oh,
I was like, I think I'm gonna go buy a couple fishing poles and a little bit of tackle. And
got
she's
back into it.
like, I'll do it. And
Now look at your rig.
I know she hates it. I'm always spending money on that thing.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get into like some of the stuff that like Yak Hobby has, like the real customized stuff like for each build. I think is cool. If I were to get it into like the XTR, I think I would have it like rigged to perfection, like exactly how I would want everything on there.
Yeah, Yak Hobby, they're local here too. Aaron, he's
It's like Buford area or something like
yep.
that. Yep.
Yeah, it's about probably 20, 30 minutes away from here.
Okay.
He's a really, really good guy too.
Is there a storefront?
No.
Okay.
And what were the giveaways for the Toyota owners showing up?
Gosh, they had, so it was like really heavy on merch. So I'm trying to think. So you walk in, they gave you like a big weigh-in bag, like a Toyota weigh-in bag. It's like a very good, nice weigh-in bag. It had baits and gloves and stuff, but there was like a full selection of hats. Everyone got hoodies, t-shirts, hats. They had cups, like kind of these kind of cups, but they were Toyota. They had someone was giving out like big tea bags. So Gerald Swindle's wife, they know of someone that has like a company that makes these like bulk tea bags. They had like a bunch of stuff: baits, Strike King baits, towels, buffs, bandanas, like just tons of merch, multiple hoodies, and like you just had to, like, people had bags full of stuff. So
That's
it was really cool. I got a lot of merch from the Toyota event.
That's cool. You drive a Toyota?
I don't.
You don't?
No, I was just there for the workshop. They had the Bassmaster workshop there, so I got lucky to be able to snag some stuff by association. I'd love to be in a Toyota. Toyota Tundra, Toyota 4Runner, I love them.
That's what Ken, he's got a Tacoma.
Yeah, I think they're great.
And Fishing with Farmer, what's up? He's part of the crew here too. He's a hammer.
Awesome.
He's got a bar, but he never fishes out of it. I think he's been on it one time. Please hit the like button. Yep. Oh, supporting from Jamaica.
Wow, awesome.
That is awesome. I think that's the first time we've had someone from Jamaica.
That's awesome.
Sweden before. That's pretty cool. Hey, John's here. What's up, John? He's the river rat that we were talking about earlier.
I hear John G is the guy to talk to about river fishing. I have to keep that in my back pocket so I know who to reach out to.
He does it really well too. He fishes a lot of tournaments, does a lot of like online stuff and monthlies for like Greg Blanchard and
Oh yeah, cool.
Latimer and stuff like that. And he's always at the top of the leaderboard. I said twice.
The same ones end up there, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yep. Sometimes I'll show up somewhere and because a lot of the lakes that we fish in, there's multiple lakes because sometimes they may be smaller, so they'll open it up to other lakes that are in the area. So you may have 4 or 5 lakes to choose from. So not everyone's on the same body of water. So sometimes if I pull up to one and I see someone there that's always at the top, I'm like, oh, I chose the right one this time.
There's a couple of guides on Lanier that, like, if you're out fishing and you see, and it's like, okay, I'm in the right spot.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got a couple of guys like that. I was off work for a couple weeks, and I was out fishing every single day. And it was like, oh, I saw him out there. I'm going back again tomorrow. That's where I need to be at.
Yeah, it's funny. Or sometimes you'll see them and they're catching fish next to you, but I'm not. And so I don't know. I think when you learn how to fish these lakes, they just consistently do well. So
what's the main like bait fish or whatever that is in the lakes around you?
It just kind of depends. There's lots of like different shads, like threadfin shads, really popular around here. Yeah, there's like a number of things, but you can anything. It really kind of just depends. Like water clarity will depend to a lot of like colors, but same style of baits you can mimic really anywhere. Like you hear the same few like that we were talking about earlier. So yeah, chatterbait frog, speed worm, big easy are like the
Jig with
staple.
the crawbait on it.
Yeah, you could
crawfish in Florida.
Yeah, you can catch them on like creature style baits. If you're especially people that are flipping and everything, just throw a creature bait on there and flip in the grass, and you can find them that way too.
Do you have a brand preference for your rod and reels?
So right now most of my stuff is from Arc. So like Arc Fishing, if you're familiar with them. I've got a number of different series from them. My favorite is like the Invoker Tour series for rods. It's just like a super sturdy rod. I think Andrew uses Arc too. He's got a lot of their stuff, but Invoker Tour series is my favorite for the rods, and then Gravity 5 is my favorite bait casting reel.
I think I got 5.
It's funny because they've got like the Gravity 7, but something about that 5 is just like it's my favorite.
Yeah, I run all their reels.
Have you tried the G2?
The G2? No, I haven't tried the G2. I've got the G3. I've got some G5s. I have a G7, and I've been wanting to pull the trigger on the BFS.
Ooh, I have the BFS.
Yeah, you like it?
It's fun. I like it. It's really fun. I've got that one, and then the G2. I have a box right there with it. That's why I was pointing. But it's like their new one that they came out with. That's supposed to be like their more affordable one. So it's like a $99 reel, but it's a really good reel.
Yeah,
like I really like that one too. The only difference is that it's the material that it's made out of is not the same one that the like Gravity 5, Gravity 7 is made out of. But it's still a solid reel. It still has the internal braking system. So
okay, same braking system. Mm-hmm. That's what I like about them the most.
So to get that for like a price point like that, I feel like is really good.
Yeah, that's good. Ken said he's still working on getting me a space heater sponsor, so I can put former sponsor, man. That's what I need.
Yeah, what are you guys doing like that when your hands are like when the temperature is that cold? Because I feel like when you're adding gloves and stuff, like you're kind of losing dexterity. So
what I'll do is I have a pair of gloves. And I'll stuff hand warmers inside of them, and I'll keep them inside of my life jacket right here. Mm-hmm. And then while I'm fishing, I go gloveless. And then when I'm moving from spot to spot,
keep them warm.
Yeah, they've been sitting here cooking, keeping me warm too, right? And then I'll slide my hand in there, and it's like, oh, it feels so good.
I've seen those. I'm curious, those new like AFCO breakaway gloves. Have you seen those? They're like the waterproof gloves, but they're still that like cloth, so you still have good movement in your hands. Yeah, I want to try those.
But I'm weird about gloves. It's because I'm missing a digit right here. Mm-hmm. So like, I get the floppy finger.
I gotcha. Yeah, I'm sure that gets in the way a lot.
So I'll wear like fish monkey gloves too.
Okay. Yeah.
Help like in the mornings and stuff, but once they get wet, they're done
for. Yeah,
bunch of hand warmers. Yeah, a lot of hand warmers, a heated vest. Even I have a heated vest that I like to wear.
That's cool.
Let's see, John G registered for the Kayak Jack 2026 year long, where you try to catch 2,026 bass, no size.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool. He does like a lot of giveaways with that too, and it's like super cheap to enter. And then Ken says he just used those AFCO gloves this week. Recommend.
They're on my Christmas list. So
yeah,
I would like to try them out.
I'll take like a cup of coffee out too, and but even some of my cups are like they'll be cold on the outside to touch. That like the heat doesn't transfer. So I would never fish Arc even if they were given. I gotta read it because he said it once already.
It'll never be better than top tier Japanese tackle.
Yeah, well, it's a lot cheaper than top tier Japanese tackle. A lot more affordable. How many channels do you have? So yeah, go ahead and drop your socials.
Yeah, so it's at Bait Barbie Fishing on everything. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Actually, Facebook's just under my name, Kylee Short. But Bait Barbie Fishing is all like anything with a handle you can find it on.
How'd you come up with your name?
So when I first created a TikTok page, it was like around the time when the Barbie movie came out. So I don't know why everyone was all Barbie, Barbie this, Barbie that. So I was just trying to think of stuff that rhymed or had like started with the B to pair with Bait Barbie, Boat Barbie. I think I had like a list, and that That was the first one I came up with, and I felt like it was kind of catchy. So I was like, oh, let me try this. I wasn't sure. I didn't know that it would become such a thing. I think it was just kind of for fun. And I wasn't sure how much of myself personally I was wanting to give up on social media either. So it was kind of a way to kind of have like a different name. That obviously changed, but it kind of stuck. Attention grabber, I guess, if you will.
Yeah. No, it works. Oh, I guess Silverpunk hasn't heard. So Marty Hughes. Have you heard of Marty Hughes before? Kayak Jack. He's an old school tournament fishing guy. He does that. It's on Tourney X, and I think it's $10 to enter, and
that's not bad.
Yeah, try to catch 2,026 bass. It's awesome.
What is it if you do?
I think it's prizes. Really, I'm not 100% sure.
Does it end up being the most overall? Like, what if you catch more than that, or is it the closest to 2026?
So I think only a couple of people hit 2025, and they're like on the water all day, every day. But I don't know. I think it's multiple people like get stuff. I'm not 100% sure. I just know that he does it.
I feel like that would be really hard to do. Because even me fishing year round, like I told myself in 2025 I was going to keep track of all the bass that I caught. That stopped about February, but February is at like 100 something. So even if I kept with that momentum, if you're at like, let's say 100 a month, that's still not enough.
Okay, you win a kayak, you get a free kayak cushion.
Oh, cool.
2026.
Nice.
So it sounds like anybody that catches 2026 gets a kayak cushion.
Kayak cushion, cool.
$10.
Look at that. No, that's easy.
Can you drop your link, please, and thanks? I don't know if you can.
I don't know that it lets me contribute to the chat.
It should. So if you can see the chat, right?
I can see the chat.
Can you see? Are you on a computer or your phone?
Computer.
It should say type a message down at the bottom, maybe, or no? No. Okay, then yeah, no, you can't. Buzzbait Barbie.
It has an add channels option at the top.
Yeah, you can yeah, you can add it to your channel so that it shows up on your channel as well if you want to do that. I know some of the guys do, some of the guys don't. Yeah, you have to catch 5.69 bass every day.
That's a lot.
Broke down the analytics. That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
But you hit milestones and can get stickers for 500 Bass Club, 1,000 Bass. Okay, etc.
That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah. Do you fish any like other stuff besides Bass Nation and the kayak bass trail?
No, I did last. I was planning to, and last year I did a couple like of the Phoenix BFLs as a co-angler. But I usually do the iCast Cup every year. Other than that, no, my focus has really been the kayak tournament trails. And between the two, it's like 2 a month.
Right.
And it ends up being enough. I think the like virtual tournaments and stuff that they have online though are fun. There's a few that I signed up for that I did on Fishing Chaos, just kind of for fun. But other than that, no.
War Eagle wants to know what my favorite winter month is on Lanier. Probably February. Would be tough up here in the north. Yeah, that would be tough. Where are you at, Michael Bradley? I don't know where he lives.
I would imagine you're like really limited to the time that you can fish there.
Yeah, especially like because it gets dark so early too. That's why I like it here, man. The water doesn't freeze. I mean, it's still cold, but the air doesn't hurt your face. There's no ice, no snow. That's snow.
No, thank you.
Yeah. All right. We're pretty caught up. We can go for a while. Buzzbait Barbie.
I do love throwing a buzzbait. The buzzbait. If you've heard of Brazalo Custom Lures.
Oh yeah, he's been on the show a couple times too.
Gosh, Danny makes a mean buzzbait, but the Wee Whacker specifically is like my favorite. That little one. And then I know Andrew made the tack toad to throw on the back of that. That combo there, I did that before I was using the tack toad. Like a Z-Man diesel minnows would work too.
Okay.
Or minnows on the back of it, like a little paddle tail. And like the minute we get some cold days, cold mornings, I'll bring the one bait with me and I'll just go out there with the buzz bait and just hammer them.
I know us, like, it's so cold here right now, but if we get like a warming trend, so if there's like 4 days in a row where it hits or even the 60s, you better take a buzz bait out there.
Yeah, love the buzz bait bite. It's so fun. And sometimes too, if you're fishing the pond, the edges are so shallow that you just see them swimming up to it. Like you can see the wake following it. It's so fun. Gosh,
Yeah, watching them shark it down. Say, oh, they're sharking it. How was your experience co-angling?
I have also heard horror stories. I only did a couple, so I would imagine maybe if I continued, I would encounter different people. But the couple that I did were wonderful, like super cool, super nice, like helpful. And the event that I did the best in was on Lake Toho, and we just fished open water the whole time. So it wasn't like the same thing where you're typically trailing with like finesse style stuff trying to get leftover bites from the back of the boat. It was like the whole boat was fair game. It was really fun. So no, I haven't had any bad experiences with co-anglers. It was honestly like I learned something from everybody that I had been paired with, but I have heard some not so pleasant stories about boaters too. So yeah, luckily though that didn't happen for me.
Off topic, but when's the lunch break starting back up? The lunch break should be back tomorrow. So we do, Danny, the guy that he owns Georgia and stuff, he does from like 12 to 1:30, he'll do it's the Livewell lunch break. And it, kind of break up the day. And he always talks about fishing, but that's not usually what the topic is, but it'll go off the rails quick with some of these guys in the comments.
Is it like a certain day of the week or is it multiple?
He does it Tuesday through Friday.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check it out.
And then buzzbaits on Lanier, ? Yeah. Yeah, buzzbaits on Lanier, especially at nighttime. When it's summertime at night, buzzbaits work really good. Yep, the bushwhacker is awesome. And there's another finesse buzzbait out now too, from I think Berkeley.
They just came out with one. Yep.
And it looks pretty good too. Won't be doing as much KBF monthly stuff anymore. Want to find some other tournaments to get in. Yeah, you got a lot of options. Not really a lot. You might have the Georgia Kayak Fishing League. We're working on that right now because insurance and stuff is kind of a nightmare, and we don't want to do it if we can't get insurance because of the liabilities and stuff, especially with all the accidents that happened over the last couple years. But we're working on that right now. We're looking to launch our trail and start in February. So you'll have, and we're like a grassroots kayak club. It's the Georgia Kayak Fishing League, and we average 12 to 15 guys per tournament. But it's fun.
It's still fun, yeah.
We allow 2 motors.
Okay, cool. That's the local one you were talking about.
Yeah, yep, that's us. And then we've got Bass Nation, and then there's another one called the AKFL, and they're like all the mountain lakes up north Tennessee and North Georgia. Waiting for the GAKFL schedule to drop. We're working on it, Silverpunk. We got to figure out insurance first. Since Alex is talking buzz baits, I'm using Kylie's purchase. There you go. All right. Well, man, we've been going about an hour and 40 minutes. So I'll go ahead. We can go ahead and get off of here early. I'll let you go. I know you said you're a single mom, so you got a kid and you got to get to work tomorrow and stuff, as do I.
Yeah.
So thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I wish I had this every Monday, something to do. It gave me something to look forward to on Monday. I wasn't dreading the weekend ending so much because I at least knew that I had this. So I appreciate it. Always fun to talk fishing with anybody. So everyone too that was in the comments asking questions, I appreciate it. If you have questions you didn't get to ask, I'm all ears. I check my messages as much as possible to be able to help out with questions. So feel free to find me.
Yeah, and it's Bait Barbie Fishing, right?
Yep. Bait Barbie Fishing, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. And guys, thank y'all for coming in and keeping the show going for me, because I was nervous.
You did great. It was awesome.
We'll be back next Monday. I'm working on getting another guest lined up, so we will see you guys then. Until then.